Hi, 2-3. So let's talk about math today. We are moving right along to Eureka. We're going to keep going on. So we're going to lesson 10 today, which again is still in the module of the basics of setting us up for multiplication and division for third grade. It's very important that you watch this video today and you try to follow along as carefully as you can because part of this lesson can be a little bit tricky. So I want to make sure that you're really paying attention to the video. Your instructions are pretty much the same as always. You're going to watch this video first. Then for even more practice, you're going to watch the lesson 10 video from YouTube, which is right down here, which is 7 minutes. And then you're going to be completing your work, okay? I also put the homework helper as well, which gives you even more of a resource in your assignment for today if you need it. So you just click it as always and it will come up. So this is what we are doing today. We are going to now be switching. We've been making a lot of arrays with, for example, X's or circles or triangles, and we've been doing all these different kinds of shapes when we're making arrays. But today we're going to be making and using a square tile, it's called, for the array. And all that is literally a square. You're going to be using little tiny squares to make your array today. You're not allowed to use X's or circles or triangles. You have to use squares. So I'm starting that out, okay? You have to use tiny little squares today. Well, not tiny, but small little squares when making your arrays today. Another important announcement for this assignment is there can be no spacing when you're making your array in between your squares, okay? Normally when we've been making our arrays all along, we've had spacing in between. This kind of array, when we do something like this, when you're using these square tiles, you are not supposed to be putting spaces in between them. They're supposed to be connected, okay? So those are the two very important things. You have to use squares today when you're making your arrays, and there should be no spaces in between them, okay? So let's look to see what I mean by that. Number one is saying that we need to construct a rectangle, okay, with 2 rows of 3 tiles. So remember, just to go back, a rectangle means opposite sides, okay, are equal. So what that means is here I already just drew it because I wanted to show you what it looked like. So they told me 2 rows. So I have row 1 and row 2, and I need to have 3 in each. So I have 1, 2, 3 here and 1, 2, 3 here. Again, pay attention that I use squares and then I connected the squares to one another. So I don't have any spacing in between them. I don't have triangles. I don't have circles. I don't have smiley faces. I have squares, okay? And this is what my array should look like. And then I just need to, on the line, write a repeated addition sentence to show how much I have in my array, okay? So because I had to do rows, it would be 3 plus 3 equals 6. Because it told me to make 2 rows, it would not be 2 plus 2 plus 2. That would not be the correct addition, repeated addition. When it tells you by rows, you have to make your repeated addition by rows, 3 plus 3. So you also have to be careful with that, okay? So now let's do 1B together. Now it wants us to construct a rectangle with 2 columns of 3 tiles, okay? So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to use just this today. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You could draw, of course, your squares if you're more comfortable. That's fine. It's up to you. So I'm going to start with 2 columns. So I have 1 and 2. Now again, it's going to be hard making sure that they're perfectly aligned, but as long as I don't see any gaps, I'm not concerned that one square is bigger than the other right now because it's hard when you're doing it online. The main thing I'm looking for is that they are squares and I'm not seeing, like I said, other shapes, and that there is no spacing between them. So I have, this would be my column 1, okay? So let me just write that so we're not confused. So this would be column 1, and this would be column 2, okay? So I have 2 columns that it told me to put. Now it's telling me that I need to have 3 tiles in that column. So this would be 1 already. Now I'm going to do 2 and 3. Then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. I have 1 already, 2, and 3. Again, they're all squares, they're all connected, okay? So now when I come over here, I need to write a repeated addition equation that matches what I just made, okay? So because they're columns, I'm doing 3 plus 3, and that's going to equal 6. Kiss your brains. So 3 plus 3 equals 6. So that's what I'm going to put over here. Okay, and you could type it using your text box, which a lot of you do, which is great. So you're going to do 3 plus 3. Probably should use my text box right now. 3 plus 3 equals 6. Okay? So that's what you're going to do pretty much on this page. So for number 2, A and B, you're going to be doing the same thing. Okay? Again, squares, no spacing. All right. Then you're going to come down to your second page, which now they want you to make a rectangle. They're telling you that it has to have a total of 9 tiles, and it has to have the same amount of rows and columns. So they want you to kind of experiment. You can create this however you want to, okay? It just can't have more than 9 tiles, okay? It has to have 9 tiles. And then for B, same thing. It has to have a total now of 16 tiles. And you create it how you want to create it, but it should not have any more than 16 tiles, and it needs to be a rectangle. Okay, so you're going to draw it over here, again using squares, no spacing, and then on the lines you need to write your repeated addition equation that matches it. Now here it's saying what shape is the array pictured below. So they're showing you this shape. Now notice how this side has 3 and this side has 4. And we talked about this. A rectangle has opposite sides equal. A square has all sides equal. Just to go over our shapes again. Rectangle is opposite sides equal. A square is all sides are equal. So think about the fact that I just said that this is 3 on this side and this is 4. You should know what shape this is, okay? You're going to write down right here if it's a rectangle or a square. Then for part B, they want you to draw this again, but they want you to take out 1 column. Take it out. So they want you to draw this shape again, but without this column at the end. Take out this column and then draw it, okay? Once you did that, now they want to know, okay, well, what is the shape now that you took out that column? Okay, and they want you to say, is it a rectangle or a square? And then that brings us down to our application problem for today. Sandy's toy telephone has buttons arranged in 3 columns, up and down, and 4 rows across. Draw a picture of Sandy's telephone. So you're going to draw a picture here, which I'm going to help you get started. And then you, of course, after your picture's done, you will write a repeated addition equation to show the total number of buttons. And then Sandy has a total of blank, fill it in buttons on her phone, okay? So to get you started, let's talk about this. You're going to, it already said that we have 3 columns, for example, okay? So columns, we have 1, 2, 3 columns, and then it's telling me that I have 4 rows. So this would already be considered 1 row, 2, 3, 4 rows, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to finish filling in what we started. This all should not be blank. Finish filling it in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows like they told us, and we have 1, 2, 3 columns. But you now have to finish filling in this. Remember, an array does not look like this. An array has to be equal. It should not have things missing like this, okay? You're going to finish using the squares to fill in the rest of the parts that are missing. Then you're going to use your finished picture to answer these two questions. All right, guys. I know it's a little, don't be overwhelmed. Follow this video, watch your other video. You're going to do great. Take your time, don't rush through it. And like I said, use all the little arrows to help you. And you have this. I know you could do this, okay? All right, if you need anything, let me know. And you got this.